Hey, welcome back to another episode of Unapologetically Black, Never Broken, Always Empowered. I am Brittany, and I am being joined by our guest tonight, Chataun Denis. Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we start every episode with a mental health check-in. So how are you feeling? How's your week been? What's going on?
Oh my gosh. I have to say, I feel okay right now. I have been having some serious sinus issues, and I'm like not the only one. But that's probably the biggest thing I got going on from day to day is my face is constantly dripping mucus. And I'm like, I thought it was cheese. And then I haven't eaten cheese in like a week. And so that's not it. So
I'm sorry. Yeah, I have.
Other than that, I'm great.
Good. Well, I have a 3-year-old and he recently had a cold, and I don't know why like coughs and runny noses are like those ongoing symptoms well beyond, everything else. So he's had a runny nose for a few days, and I am not a fan of runny nose children. Like snotty kids are like, so I'm like every day I'm like in his nose trying to like make sure he looks presentable. That's how I feel. Like even in the house, I'm like, I put him in the mirror and I'm like, here's a wipe. You clean your own. So yeah.
How is your mental health today?
I honestly, if we're being honest here, I'm okay. I'm okay. So I'm having some turmoil within my job. So it's just a little anxiety inducing. I'm ready to kind of switch careers.
Gotcha.
So yeah. But and times of change are always, uneasy. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, I bless you in your endeavors to find the perfect job at the perfect time with the perfect pay.
Right. Exactly. Manifest it.
I believe in 2 or more.
Right. Well, speaking of jobs and businesses, you are here today to talk a bit about your shop, Black Biz Dayton. I'm going to use the word movements. So let's just kick it off. Like, tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, and all of that, and we'll talk more.
Okay, well, my name is Chataun Denis. Most people say Dennis. I usually tell people Dennis because it's easier to. It looks like Dennis, but it is Denis. I am currently a Dayton resident. I just recently moved back here this year. It's so funny I tell this story because I'm like, I couldn't wait to leave here. I left here in the year 2000, moved away. I couldn't wait to leave, and I'm so glad I'm back. I love this place. I have one daughter. Her name is Shanae. She's 30. I left here, moved to Cleveland for 5 years, spent some time there. It was too cold and too snowy. Got married there. I moved there to go to grad school. I got a scholarship at Cleveland State University to do my master's in urban planning. And when the weatherman said it was the 44th day of continuous snow, and that's when we said, okay, it's time to go. So we moved to Atlanta, and I stayed in Atlanta for 15 years. And this year I got a divorce, which brought me back here. And so, yeah, I'm just getting reacclimated to being back in Dayton. My entire family is here, so it's definitely a blessing. I love that there's no traffic. I love that there's not a lot of people. I love that the weather is great. I love I can get anywhere in 10 to 15 minutes. I love it so much.
I understand that. I'm originally from Michigan, so being a Midwestern girl, I get it. I currently live in Maryland, so the DC, Maryland area.
Gotcha. It's different. I don't know why I assumed you guys were here. Okay.
No, we have. Well, no, we're not here. I'm from Michigan. We have. We work a lot with Brad from What's Happening. He is also Michigan based, but has a lot of following in Ohio. So we're all over the place, and we have a lot of people who listen from Ohio as well. So yeah.
Gotcha. What part of Michigan are you in?
So, well, I'm from Southfield, so Metro Detroit area. But like I said, I live in Maryland, in like Prince George's County, Maryland. Rich, my co-host, he's from Texas. So, like I said, we're all
over. Gotcha.
My little sister did go to Bowling Green for undergrad, so she has been and has a lot of friends in the Ohio area. But being as though you're from the Midwest as a Black woman, I know personally, growing up, I didn't grow up around a lot of Black people at all. My sister and I were the only two Black people in my elementary school. I'm private school kid.
Gotcha.
So it was kindergarten to 8th grade. We were the only two.
Really?
There was, well, my best friend was Egyptian, so technically African, but
right.
African American, and that was about it. So a lot of the experience growing up has been from a completely different perspective. Two of the girls I went to high school with were on my Super Sweet 16, that like MTV show where they spend ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah. So I definitely had a different experience. And so that leads me to kind of ask you, growing up in the Midwest, how has your experience been as a Black woman, and kind of how does that lead to why you started Shop Black Biz Dayton?
I have to say, I did not have that experience. I grew up mostly around Black people. Because we, like most urban areas, we were all, I guess we lived on the west side of town, west side, the infamous west side. And so now Dayton, the west side is probably, I think it's 80% majority Black, which is good, for a town where I think we're 40% of the population, actually. But growing up, we were more like 12, like the national average. So I grew up around, it was probably half and half going to school. It wasn't until I left here to go to grads. Well, no, I take that undergrad. I went to Wright State. I call it White State because I was, either the only one or one of maybe a couple, 2 or 3 in my classes. So it wasn't until like I actually, from college on, pursuing my studies, that I became the only Black person. Then in the professional environment, it became me. Yeah. But here now, I can't really say that I've ever had any like negative racial experiences. I remember one, I think a guy called me a monkey or something. But that was the only experience that I've ever had that was racially oriented.
That's good. Yeah, for me, I'm the opposite. I went to Howard. So I was like, I broke away from that. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm Black. Like, I can't. I need to be around more people. So yeah,
I wanted to do that. And then I got pregnant at 15.
Okay.
So that went out the window. But that was always my dream. I want to escape this place and, go to HBCU, be with my folks, have that experience, but that didn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, it is a great experience. I completely understand that, but it is a great experience. And I will always advocate for HBCUs, despite because there's a lot, especially at Howard. I can only speak really from my experience, but there is a lot of shadiness at different universities from a president and hierarchy point of view that you come across, which is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, recently you heard about it, like with Jackson State, Deion Sanders saying that he wasn't getting money out of the tickets. They were changing the ticket amounts. Like, he'll see that it's a sold out arena, but those on the books, they said they didn't sell as many, so he wasn't getting that cut. That was kind of like the behind the scenes things they were talking about while the whole world was mad about, him leaving the HBCU on the side.
Right.
You looked into the interviews, that was kind of the things that were being said, but that's neither here nor there. But yes,
Understood.
so I guess let's talk about your mission, what you're working on. So let's talk about Shop Black Biz Dayton. What's it about? How did you get started?
Shop Black Biz Dayton is a platform to raise the profile of local Black businesses.
Okay.
So I told you I moved back this year, and I've been quasi-retired for the last 10 years. My original business is Grant Source, which I am a grant and proposal writer, business strategist. And so I built a pretty decent career for myself in Atlanta. Established myself as an expert, automated my business, and by the 5th year, I was able to work 20 hours a week, which then slowly declined to 5 to 10 hours a week. And so now I probably just work a few hours a week. And so coming back here, it's like I have nothing but time on my hands. What shall I do with myself?
Right.
So I set out on my own scavenger hunt because I love puzzles and scavenger hunts. So I turned it into a scavenger hunt, and I said, okay, I'm going to find out what type of resources Dayton has for entrepreneurs, because that's the space I knew I wanted to be in. And on my first stop, they referred me to the Greater West Dayton Incubator. That was my second stop. And the director over there, she's a young Black girl. Her name is Whitney Barkley. And she shared with me her vision of wanting to help Black entrepreneurs establish legitimate profit-generating businesses. And when she said that, I was like, I'm in. So I started volunteering there, and I've been volunteering there since the summer. And we enacted twice a month, we do what we call business clinics. And that's anybody they can come in, walk in off the street, and we help them with whatever their challenges in their business is at the time. We help people with websites. I do mostly the financial projections and performers for people when they are wanting to apply for microloans or pitch competitions. We help them with their pitch decks. We help most people with a basic three-page business plan, because most of them don't have business plans.
Right.
So that's some of the work that we do. And I've been doing that, like I said, since the summer. And I kept telling Whitney, you need to do a Black business directory. Well, the incubator is sponsored by the University of Dayton. So she's a University of Dayton employee, and her plate is full. So it was like, in November, I was just like, okay, I'll do it, And so I started it as Shop Black Biz Dayton Instagram page.
Okay.
Where I use the highlights as the shopping categories. And so I would just, tag and share and ask people if they wanted to be in the directory. They say yes. And I just, pull over a story from their story or their Instagram page and just start categorizing. So that's how it started. And since then, it has now grown to a website, which is shopblackbizdayton.com. And in the month of February, we are celebrating Dayton Black businesses in honor of Black History Month. So we are doing the Dayton Black Business Challenge.
Okay.
Which is an entire month of suggested ways you can support Black businesses during Black History Month. 11 of the businesses in the directory have given me donated raffle prizes. So for people who complete the challenges, every Sunday we'll do a raffle live on Instagram and share.
That's exciting. So are the challenges going to be different, or is it just how many can you get, like a punch card type situation? Or
Well, it's 28 of them for each day of the month. And they don't need to be done in any particular order. But one might be buy a cup of coffee from a Black coffee shop.
Okay.
So we got 3 Black-owned coffee shops here that I know of. There may be more.
Right.
So then, I'll have those suggested coffee shops and where they can go to buy. That'll be a shopping guide, coffee shop shopping guide. Um, go to the directory and find 5 Black businesses and find them on social media and share 5 of their posts.
Right.
Go to, there's a young lady who has an awesome boutique downtown. Go to Vidia's Closet and make a purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So it is designed for the folks that have storefronts, designed to drive traffic to those storefronts. And then for the rest of the folks who are like pop-up vendors, we have a whole bunch of those. And e-shops, we are directing them to the Shop Black Biz Dayton website.
Awesome. That sounds really fun. Like I'm a huge fan of like scavenger hunts and challenges as well. So I think that's gonna bring a lot of attention, and I think that's such a great way to bring people and bring business in. I think one of the things we talk about on the podcast is just the power of the black dollar, right?
Yeah.
And like the consumer power we have,
right?
And bringing that back into the community, I think is I mean, that's what we need to do. That's
what we need to do.
You said, what did you say?
I said, it's what we need to do.
Exactly. I mean, that's how we thrive as a community.
Yep.
Continue to support ourselves. So that is awesome. Is there a cost to be a part of the directory, or?
Nope, it is free.
Okay.
And through the month of February, it's not going to be free forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I am launching this business. It is my business. And so I have invested my own personal funds. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't cost a lot. Like I say, the directory started on Instagram, which is free. It's a lot of sweat equity. But the most of the money that I spent right now is I'm doing a month of media radio ads.
Okay.
So I gave myself a budget of $2,500. So we're going to do basically half in digital ads and half in radio ads. So I figure that's probably the best way, to generate the buzz.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked with Spectrum Cable, and they have a program that gives Black businesses free advertising.
Oh, wow.
So I'm waiting on them to get back with me, and your podcast and whoever else will allow me to share on their podcast. I got a couple more planned.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Good. Well, I'm thankful that we could be a part of this and to help you get the word out. So I guess my next question for you about it is, how has the reception been in your community? Have you seen feedback from, the ads that you've started to put out, or in general, since you've started, how has the reception been in the Dayton area?
It's good. It's good. We've got about 50 businesses listed in the directory as of today.
Nice.
And every day folks are adding. There are some people, who are like not as excited as me. I had to remind myself, not everybody's going to be excited about this Chataun, because in my mind, and I've done the numbers, I'm a numbers person. So it's like, if there's 53,000 working adults in our town, if each one of us spent $100 a month with a Black business, that's $5 million a month that we can circulate right here. Right now, there's virtually no economy on the west side of Dayton.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the east side, and it's separated by a highway. That's usually what happens. The east and the west side separated by a highway, a river,
red
or a railroad track. So this side of town, we don't have any real sit-down restaurants. We have to go to the white side of town to buy everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, if I can get me a core 100 people, who are on what I'm on, and we commit to spending $100, $200 a month, we could circulate some real dollars, and we wouldn't have to wait on outside white investors to come and build anything in our communities. We could do it ourselves. I feel like we've got that social conditioning, that crabs in a barrel mentality, where we're used to not having anything,
Right.
which we are a product of our environment, But, so the first phase of Shop Black Biz Dayton is really to educate and to really just put out messages of our Black economic power, like the stat that I just quoted you. And, if we did $500 a month, we could circulate like $60 million a month in our neighborhoods, in our communities. Everybody will have a job.
Right.
Every person
Absolutely.
would have a job.
Yeah.
So,
and that's just in Dayton. I mean, imagine in,
right.
Any larger community.
Right.
So, yeah. I think
Right.
that's important for Black people to understand, because we are so quick to spend, hundreds of dollars on
Right.
something designer or,
Right.
whatever the case may be. But the moment one of your friends start a business or,
Right.
it is a Black owned business, we're more critical. And
Right.
why does it cost this much? And
Right.
I had to do everything from
Right.
scratch. I don't have, suppliers in China, and
Right.
I don't
Right.
business coming out of pocket. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And we have to, this requires us we're going to have to go beyond our comfort zone. Like, we're going to have to pay a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to travel a little further. We're going to have to go out of our way to shop Black in most cases.
Right.
Because, like you say, the economies of scale does not prevent us from being on the shelves at every store.
Mm-hmm.
And, the soap that so many of us make, the bars cost $10.
Right.
I'm used to buying Dove. I'll get, 3 bars for $4.
Right.
So that's like a sacrifice that I'm willing to make, to buy certain goods locally. And yeah, that's just a personal commitment. And so I just have to remind myself that everybody's not on this.
Right.
And not to attach myself to the expectations or the responses of other people, and to just commit to myself that I'm going to have a good time doing this. Because that's how I started. Like, I committed to myself that I wanted to start buying Black as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So when I would go and I would purchase Black, I would take a video of what I was buying and the store, and just kind of do a little reel, because I see all these reels and I'm like, I told you I've been retired, so I haven't really been on the computer or anything. And I'm like, oh, I love the way they're making these videos. I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn Canva. I want to learn all these softwares. So I would shop Black, and I would just take video, and I would just teach myself how to use these softwares. And I make these videos, and I start posting them, and people were like, oh man, this is nice. And it was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I could actually do this. For Shop Black Biz Dayton, so it just kind of took a life of its own.
Nice. So if you had a magic wand and can get anything you needed to be successful in your mission, what would it be?
Hold on, I took some notes for that one. What number is that? Let's see. I would say it would be to get the word out. I am building the website, a user-friendly website that captures people when they land on the page. I think I've got a strategy for it. I want to do like a play on Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. I want to get yard signs, posters, window decals, coasters for the restaurants. Just as much promo materials as I possibly can. Billboards, radio, newspaper, and just promote the hell out of this thing. So that people will know that we don't have to leave our communities. We can stay right here and we can shop right here. And matter of fact, you probably got folks on your street who've got businesses and can sell you things that you buy every day. But because they're so small, you don't know that they exist.
Right.
So hopefully, that is my intention for this thing to be, and for it to be a replicable model for other small cities like ours to be able to create their own Shop Black business
Right.
and promote, their economies from the inside.
Okay. And that kind of leads to my next question. So what are your future goals with Shop Black Biz and just, yourself in general?
My goal is my personal goal, because I'm a grant writer. I've raised $18 million for my folks down in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, oh, what if I could use my skill sets for my people? Not even thinking that I would be living back here. I had no idea. Like, I never would have predicted that I would move back home. So it's like, yeah, I want to be able to do that. And there is a windfall. When I tell you there's a windfall of money, it's reparations time. There is a windfall of money, grant money, microloan money. Everybody is about to start supporting Black and Brown. When they did the Juneteenth holiday, they recognized that opened the door. They admitted that slavery existed, number one.
Yeah, which they're trying to erase in school, which they're trying to erase with CRT. But yeah, you're right. By making it a holiday.
They made it a holiday. So they acknowledged that it existed now. So now the policy, everybody's talking about reparations bills, So there is a windfall of money in government contracts, corporate contracts, set-asides to support. These certifications are going to be a huge thing, business certifications. So my goal is to help as many Black people as possible legitimize their business, get their paperwork in order, because that's the only thing standing in between our Black businesses accessing corporate government, these large contracts, is our paperwork.
Right.
So my goal is $100 million. I want to influence the circulation and new money of $100 million into local Black communities. And that's my big vision.
That's incredible. So what can we as a podcast and as a community do to help support you in your goal and your dreams and your mission?
Spread the word. Share, tag, highlight the Black businesses in your community. When you shop Black, if we've inspired you in that way, tag Shop Black Biz Dayton, because that's how I track it. Because I'm an academic, tracking is paramount to securing funding, to be able to show impact. And so the big vision is I see Shop Black Biz Dayton being a referral source for local corporations, government folks who want to do business with Black and Brown businesses on the West Side. And they can come to us to say, hey, we need a caterer. Would you recommend a caterer? And to kind of be a clearinghouse for these folks to access this money that is about to be readily available. So the tracking is extremely important. I'm still thinking through how to do it right now. I'm just asking people to photo or video when you shop Black, a receipt even, and just tag me. And in that way, I can start tracking the amount of dollars that we're circulating and keeping in our communities.
Nice. Awesome. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything we didn't talk about that you'd like to throw in there?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I had no reason to be nervous.
You didn't. It's okay, but I understand. I completely understand. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for the impact you're making in the community. I think it's very important to give you your flowers now. I think you're making history, which is beautiful. So I am so happy, and we as a podcast are so happy to be able to help you spread the word get more word out there. If you'd like to drop once again your social media tag and handles, go for it where everyone can find you.
All righty. It's Shop Black Biz Dayton on Facebook, Instagram. The listing is actually the Instagram page, Shop Black Biz Dayton. TikTok, my girlfriend is managing my Facebook and TikTok. I'm responsible for the Instagram and the website. And then the website is Shop Black Biz, B-I-Z, Dayton, DAYTON.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much once again
Thank
for
you,
joining.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. So this episode is actually, let me not say that. Let me bring that back. But as always, we ask that you guys like and subscribe on all forms of social media, much like Black Biz Dayton. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, we are on Twitter. Unapologetically Black. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay unapologetically Black. Have a good night.